So the chapter 12 talks about the bhakti yoga. We have seen in previous chapters, it does talk about bhakti. Here it continues with the bhakti. Don't forget, bhakti is one of that path which is believed to be the easiest path to moksha in Kali Yuga, right? We are all in Kali Yuga now. It is one of that easiest path. So should be worship of, Krishna says, the worship of manifested and unmanifested, right? So how you define manifested and unmanifested? It might be like personal aspect of God with impersonal aspect of God. Personal aspect is that the God has a form. We worship that God with a form. And unmanifested means formless, right? So both are acceptable. We discussed that last week. Both are acceptable. We can do both of them, manifested or unmanifested. But yes, we need to progress spiritually. We need to reach a point where we don't need an object for concentration. Let's say we worship Ganesh, right? So Ganesh is that object of concentration. Right. So worship of manifested is much more easier. When we worship the God having a form, it's much more easier for our mind to focus on, right? And the other one is quite difficult. For some people, they are not, of course. But Sinugos, the majority of us in Kali, it is difficult one. The worship of unmanifested or impersonal, we are formless, the way you want to call it, it is a bit difficult. The spiritually advanced souls adores the unmanifested. Adores the unmanifested, they worship, they meditate upon the unmanifested. So, as it is a difficult path, what we need effort and energy. Of course, we need energy. The body should be healthy. Mind, we need to have a sound mind also. But the effort is needed. The effort can be anything, like in terms of bhakti, it can be in terms of doing good karmas, right? But the right effort should be there. And it should be continuous effort, continuous effort. There's the word we use, part-time devotees. We should not be like part-timers, no? That is the effort that we are putting in should be constant, right? So Krishna here advises Arjun to practice karma yoga because Arjun is a warrior. He needs to do the karma as a warrior. And Krishna tells him to worship the manifested God. At that point, say Krishna, the manifested one, right? So remember Arjun on the battlefield at that time, he was confused, a bit of tamas gun in him, he was confused. So when we are in such situations, like him, the worship of manifested God is important. When we have a confused mind, lots of things going in our mind, we won't be able to concentrate on God who is formless. So we need that God having a form, right? So it's all upon the mind. That's why we say we have to have a mind focused, concentrated. And this is possible when the senses are under control, right? So different methods to realize God. Of course, there isn't one method to realize God. Each one can walk on his or her own path, right? Each one has different method. So first, one Krishna says here, to fix the mind on God with undivided attention. So whatever we do, whatever action it is, to fix the mind on God. This is difficult because the mind wanders. That's why we need God having a form, right? The second is perseverance. We need to practice, to persevere, to bring back the mind again and again. You know, like at times you are trying to meditate, let's say, and someone is cooking some nice food somewhere, you're having a nice fragrance. Your mind will automatically go there because your senses, the nose, which is functioning, is smelling that fragrance, right? So then what we do, we bring the mind back. We are not minding no more on the biryani now, but on God. So we need each time to bring the mind back, right? This is practice. And third, dedicate all actions to God or surrender to God. Whatever we do, we surrender everything to Him, right? Now, Krishna talks about the characteristics of a devotee, right? We are devotees, so what are the characteristics, or what should be the characteristics? So qualities of a spiritually perfect person, that is, we call that a bhakt in Hindi, it is a bhakt or a devotee in English. Such a person should be free from hatred, negativity, you can say, ego, arrogance, to some negativity. Such a person should be free from that. He should be practicing non-violence, right? Practicing non-violence. He or she need to be pure in thoughts, like we say, pure in thoughts, in words and deeds. So words also. Really automatic, when the thoughts are pure, the words will be pure. And if the thoughts are pure, your actions also will be pure. Really automatic. And skillful in action, free from desires, okay, no desires whatsoever. But Pluto, well, if someone is having a desire to reach God, this is something else. But here we are talking about material life mainly. Is alike to a friend and enemy, actually has no enemy. Such is a great devotee who has no enemy. We should not be having enemy, because if we say, I have an enemy, means God is my enemy. Don't forget that important element, which is there is God in that person as well. Even we don't like, why don't we like the person? Because the person has certain behavior that we don't appreciate. But when we say we don't love the person, we don't like the person, we hate the person, so we are hating God. So for a devotee, that should not be the case, right? We can't change the world, so the person, so we need not focus on that. A devotee should be impartial, just like God is impartial, so the devotee also should be impartial. And he abandons attachment, right? So this is about the chapter 12. You see the chapter 12 is quite short. And the other chapters, I told you to learn it, to go through it, Pluto, right? The last few chapters, make sure you go through that. Okay. Here you will find in this chapter 13, the nature and modification of the field. The field is the body, right? The body in other senses. The body is made up of the 5 elements. Right. We have the mental traits also. 7 modifications of the physical aspect. Our body keeps on changing. There are, desire, hatred, pleasure, etc. These are a few things These are 20 virtues Krishna talks about in Atule 20 dedans. You can go for it, right? So make sure you, so as I was telling you, have tried to compile these, lessons, because you need to expect such a question, like why should a person read the Bhagavad Gita? No, Bhagavad Gita is something that we got at the time of Krishna, when Krishna was here in the Dwapar Yuga. So why in Kali Yuga do we need that Bhagavad Gita, or do we need it or not? We say Veda, the four Vedas, they are our original scripture, right? This has been given to us by God at the time of creation, right? At the time of creation, we are in Kali Yuga. Do we need the Vedas? Yes, you will say probably, yes, we need the teachings of the Vedas. Why do we need them? If you say we need the teachings of the Ramayana, and this talk in past in the Treta Yuga, but now in Kali Yuga, why do we need them? Those stories, right? So same for the Bhagavad Gita, you expect such a question, right? It can use the word modern man, it can use youth, right? So whatever it is, généralement, this is the impact Bhagavad Gita can be having on us, right? So one of the lessons can be faith can move mountains. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, you will see Krishna, while explaining to Arjun, Vidya Arjun to have faith on whatever he is doing. Unwavering faith is important. Without faith, let's say now you're studying, if you don't have faith on yourself, on what you are doing, we can't progress, we can't achieve what we want. So that faith should be there in whatever thing we are doing in our life. It can be faith on God, faith on yourself, right? So that faith is important. This is one thing. Live life fully. Here, live life fully is not materially. It can be materially, no doubt. Probably the middle path, which Buddha, which Krishna taught us, middle path. We are in Kali Yuga. We can't have extreme pleasure. We need not have such a life. And we can't live a life of extreme austerity as well. Okay. We need to find the middle path. So this is what it will refer to live life fully. It's definitely not Amize type life, what I'm saying, right? So when we are living life fully means we need to explore life, how it is, to the fullest. We explore. Maintenant, exploring là, c'est pour des fois, tu me dis, c'est tout à fait dans la vie. It's not the case. If you know smoking is not good, so we're not going to explore that, right? So probably we have that aspect of wisdom which Krishna, which God has given us, right? So we need to, sorry, use that. Unravel the inner strength. We as, let's say, the modern people or the youth, if we refer to the youth, we have quite an energetic youth nowadays. We have some Rajasic youth, and we have, I can see many tamasic, si me get dans aspect as a teacher at school, I see many students who are tamasic, right? They don't like to study, they will play games only, things like that. But in empathy also could be Rajasic, they have lots of energy, but they don't know how to channel the energy. What to do with that? And then what comes next can be failure, can be restlessness. They don't know what to do, they are confused, right? So we have that inner thing in us, and we need to realize, we need to put the right effort to take out whatever we have in us. It can be in terms of talent, all the skills that we have, to diminuer and talent or skills. Comment les connaître ça? Parce que while les develop, then only you can know, oh, I have such a talent, and you develop yourself, you refine yourself. So that is one thing the youth need to learn here from the Bhagavad Gita. Like Krishna there. Krishna is the knowledgeable one, not Krishna, Arjun is the knowledgeable one there. But the Parit on the battlefield, he is very unrefined. He's very restless, right? So our youth today, can channel energy properly. When you say youth, en général aussi. Next, progress is the rule of the universe. That is the only permanent thing, right? That changes keep on happening. This is the permanent thing that exists. And everything will change at every moment. Everything is momentary. Everything will change. So we need to have to put that in mind first of all. And change is the only constant thing. However, young, fragile minds can't accept changes, right? If we talk in terms of our youth today, or children or youth today, we don't tend to accept changes in life. C'est qui nous pensons, nous besoin sans même, and we are going to work for that. Even if I'm going to do wrong things to achieve it, I'll do it. This is about the mind of today, how people or youth, you can say, are today. But changes we have to accept because we have to accept life doesn't go as planned by us. That does not happen. Like Arjun, d'après lui, ce plan, il va besoin fight. But his life was not that easy. It didn't go as per his plan. When he dropped his weapon, I'm not going to fight. C'est pas ça what was happening. What was destined to happen, c'est qu'il y écrit ça même is happening. And of course, with the present effect of karma, ça aussi les jouer and hold the law of karma. So progress is slow. And what we lack today is patience. Progress will happen. Definitely it will happen sooner or later. But most of the time, bien sûr, progress is slow. It can be in terms of material life. If you wish to have a big house and say, good big house, Aladdin ka chirag, he will get, it's not like that. It takes time. So progress will happen, but we need to have patience for that. In the Mahabharata, you have the Pandavas. 13 years they lived their life, 12 years in the forest, 1 year incognito. They were reaching their aim slowly. Progress was there. They needed to have patience, right? So progress is there, and we need to have patience. Meditate to find strength. That is one of the important things to do. Meditate. The constant battle that goes inside the mind can be won over through meditation and yoga. We are so restless, our mind keeps on wandering. So how to control that thing is meditation and yoga. In the chapter 10 of the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that when one meditates, miracles happen in life. But miracles, it depends how you interpret it. The miracles, pour moi, comment on peut interpréter, c'est que, when you do the right effort, you will get the fruit, you will get the result. And that is basically the miracle happening. And a little miracle which God does, this is something else. We are not talking about that. But if we do, Tailanuti come across the word effort, in the chapter 12. So the right effort will bring that miracle in our life, right? Power of a mentor. You know, Hinduism, the Sanatan Dharma, has always put emphasis on having a guru, right? You call that a mentor, a guide, whatever, but the Sanatan Dharma calls that a guru, or Hinduism calls that a guru. We need to have that person in our life, like Ramakrishna. If you know the reformer Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, he had great powers, he could do many things, but he had no guru, so he could not control his emotions. He had great love for God, for Goddess Kali, but he could not control himself because there was no one to show him the right path. So the guru is important to have, right? Though that mentor can be anyone, can be our teacher, can be our parents, can be anyone. In this case, who is the mentor here in the Bhagavad Gita is Krishna. Krishna is the mentor of Arjuna. Of course, we may not expect someone in this Kali Yuga like Krishna to be our mentor. But a guru should be there. We need to have one. Okay. If we need to progress, if we want to progress, or to even achieve moksha, that is important. Focus on work, not results, what we call the nishkam karma, right? It's not that we need not be unaware. Last time I told you, you must know, if I do action A, there will be good results. If I do action B, there will be bad results. So now I choose which one should I be doing. But I need to focus on the work, not on the result, not waiting for the result to happen. We focus more on the work, then it will be a better work, right? So this is the concept of nishkam karma we need to put into practice, right? When we focus too much on the result, the work does not happen properly. It does not happen properly. We need to focus more on the work, on strategies of getting the work done. If this is good, your strategies of working is good, your result will definitely be good. You need not even think about it, right? Now, as from here, you will see when making italic here, the different names of different people, what they say on the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, you will have few. If you have others, you can use yours also, or not. If not, you have this one. You learn at least two, you write in your work, right? This will be part of your evaluation of your reference. So Adi Shankaracharya, he was a great sage, the Adi Shankaracharya. It says that if one properly follows the Bhagavad Gita, one is freed from miseries and anxieties of life. One will be freed from fears, and one's next life will be spiritual. So for him, such is the importance of the Bhagavad Gita. There was also an actor, Murthy, revealed that he too read the Bhagavad Gita to prepare for his role. This was is very current, very current example. I think this Puma Samarthila you should add in your work, use it. Kifaya, he was an actor, he is an actor, right? And his life has been quite a material one. It still is, but there has been a shift in his life after coming to know about the Bhagavad Gita, after coming to know about the Sanatana Dharma. So this is a good example to use for our modern youth, no? So I believe this one, you should write it, okay? Next, Mahatma Gandhi, of course, last time I told you, he was always reading the Bhagavad Gita, whether he was at home or even when he was in jail, in prison, right? So those who meditate on the Bhagavad Gita will derive fresh joy and new meaning from life. Then you have Aldous Huxley. For him, Bhagavad Gita is one of the most clear and comprehensive summaries of perennial philosophies ever revealed, hence its enduring value to all of humanity. All of humanity. That is, it's not for the Hindus only to read. Remember, Bhagavad Gita is universal. It's not used only for Hindus. Not only Hindus use that. And ISKCON has played a great role in that. And also the translations of the Bhagavad Gita start in and role to make Bhagavad Gita universal today. Right? You have Jawaharlal Nehru. The Bhagavad Gita deals essentially with the spiritual foundation of human existence. It is a call of action to meet the obligations and duties of life. We learn from this the obligation and duties of life, while keeping in view the spiritual nature and grander purpose of the universe. Albert Einstein, when I read the Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created this universe, everything else seems superfluous. You know, he was a scientist, and souvent des fois, nous, scientists, believe in God, or the method of creation may be written in the scriptures. So this is one, Albert Einstein. Then you have the physicist and polymath Oppenheimer, was familiar with Sanskrit language. He knew the language, and he has read many Hindu scriptures, including the Bhagavad Gita, as he was with quantum mechanics. Right? You will see great in the past, even today we have many of them, especially in the past, many Western philosophers, to be able to get access to the Hindu scriptures, they learned the Sanskrit language to be able to get access to that. Now, to summarize, maybe that can be the right word, to summarize the effect of reading the Bhagavad Gita. What does it do? Freedom from our past misdeed. Ça veut dire, an action qui nous accumulate the past one. We are getting free from that. But the effect of reading the Bhagavad Gita, it's not only reading like we are reading a novel or something. It is also putting into practice. Don't forget that. It the dirt of material life is vanquished. We have a very purpose of life. We understand our purpose of life. We have a peace of mind, or we have peace in mind. This part is from the ISKCON. There, you can see in one of the articles from Ghaziabad, the ISKCON of Ghaziabad, I found that there. That can be a way to summarize what is the effect of Bhagavad Gita on us, right?